Winnin never imagined she'd see her husband being this gentle with another woman. Not like this. It was her first day staying home to focus on getting pregnant, as Dylan had convinced her. She was lounging on the sofa, scrolling through her phone when a trending local post caught her eye. The headline stung. "I told my uncle I was struggling to find a job, and he had his wife step down to make space for me." The poster's avatar was a white ragdoll cat. Username, Chloe No Misery. Attached was an official hire letter clearly stating, "Due to our creative director's maternity leave, Chloe is appointed to the position on a temporary basis." Wynn's finger froze on the screen. In the corner of the letter was Dylan's personal seal, one she designed herself, had carved, and given him as a wedding gift. She knew that stamp better than her own name. Just a coincidence. Dylan had always been strict about separating work and personal life. Years ago, when their startup was nearly broke, she'd secretly taken freelance design jobs to keep things afloat. When he found out, he'd fined her 3 months bonus and nearly fired her, all for breaking company rules. She'd been hurt then, but also respected his integrity. Rules came first for him. Always. A man like that would never bend the rules to let someone take his wife's place just because a friend asked. Then the next photo hit her, like a bucket of ice water dotted, was a screenshot of the poster chatting with Uncle Dylan, whose profile picture was a cat looking down, exactly like Dylan's WeChat avatar. "Uncle, I was so nervous for the interview today. You didn't even come check on me. I'll be there soon. Everyone here is so nice, but your office is so far. I want to be closer to you. I'll have a desk added on your floor tomorrow." Wynn's breath caught. She remembered 3 years earlier, when they'd first moved into the new building. She'd brightened and suggested, "Dylan, can we move my office to your floor? We could have lunch together."
Winnin, we have to keep up appearances. You're creative director, I'm CEO. People will talk if we're too close.
She never brought it up again. She understood him, trusted him, and even felt proud of him for keeping his distance. It just proved he was a solid, responsible leader. But now, he'd told another woman he'd add a desk right next to her. Her phone buzzed, a message from a subordinate. "Director, word from the CEO as you're pregnant and taking a year off. There's a new hire in design today." She went right ahead and took your seat. "What in the world is going on?" Wynn didn't reply. She stared at the post, at the familiar seal. Her mind went blank. She didn't even hear the front door open.
What are you sitting here for? Haven't you eaten dinner?
Winnie looked up at him. She'd known this man for 23 years. Preschool through high school, college, starting a business together, from school uniforms to wedding vows. She'd thought she knew him better than anyone. Dylan walked in with a takeout bag, frowning when he saw the empty dining table. Dylan set the bag down, his face unchanged. "People at the company say you took sick leave for me and hired someone to replace me. Are you not going to explain?"
I was about to tell you. Chloe is an old friend's daughter. She just graduated and can't find work. Since you're trying to get pregnant, let her fill in for a while.
"Just for a while? You were the one who brought up trying for a baby. You said we're not getting any younger." I agreed. I dropped 3 big projects and handed over all my clients. And now? You put someone straight in my seat without even telling me.
Wynn, why are you overreacting? She's just a temporary replacement. Your spot will still be here when you're done.
Winnie glanced at the label on the takeout box, Bai Huanju, a trendy new restaurant she'd begged him to try months ago. He'd refused. Why bother? We're not kids chasing fads. She opened Chloe's latest post, a photo of the exact same dishes captioned, "Just the two of us. Uncle is the best." The food in the takeout bag was identical. Her throat tightened, her eyes sting, but no tears came. Dylan paused while taking off his coat.
She likes it. I was in the area.
In the area? You told me there are no good restaurants near the office, that you eat in the cafeteria every moon, but you're in the area for her?
Winnin, can you stop being so sensitive? She's just a junior. I'm helping her because her father helped us years ago. Why are you jealous of her?
I'm not jealous of her. I'm upset with you. You said she's just filling in temporarily, but the messages say, "Have her cover for now, I'll talk to Wynn." Is that how you talk about me to other people? Full name, like a stranger?
Her father is Arthur. 3 years ago, he saved us from being bought out. I owe him. Now she can't find a job, so I'm helping her out. It's common courtesy.
Courtesy? Buying her gifts, complimenting her selfies, eating and shopping with her, that's all courtesy?
Wynn, what do you want from me?
I want you to answer me. Do you have feelings for her? Anything more?
Look at you. You're no different from those paranoid wives. I've had a long day. I don't want to fight. If you can't calm down, we'll sleep separately tonight.
Winnin, don't forget who stood by you from nothing to where we are now. Some words, once you say them, you can't take back.
The door closed. Winnie stood alone in the empty living room, staring at the shut door. In that moment, she realized something was truly broken. She'd just pretended not to see. Winnie sat on the sofa all night. The sky turned from black to deep blue, then pale gray. She didn't turn on the lights or go to the bedroom. Her phone lit up and dimmed over and over. Masochistically, she scrolled through Chloe's posts again and again, from the first to the last. The posts were full of things she'd never known. Chloe complained about not having enough spending money, with screenshots of transfers from Dylan, 5 figures each. Not huge amounts, but enough for all the new dresses he posted. Winnie remembered a coat she'd wanted the month before, hesitating for 2 weeks before putting it back. Dylan had seen the screenshot and said,
You still have one from last year?
You still have one from last year. A selfie in front of a carousel, with a hand in the corner, no wedding ring on the ring finger. It was Dylan's hand. Winnie would know it anywhere. He'd taken off his wedding ring 2 years after they married, saying it was inconvenient at work. She'd said, It's okay, I'll keep it safe. And she never took it out again. In more chat screenshots, Dylan told Chloe, You took great photos, you're so talented. When Winnie sent him carefully shot travel pictures, he only replied, The thing that hurt most captioned one of Chloe's posts. Uncle says I'm more sensible than I seem. Dylan had left a smiley face in the comments. Winnie thought back to her days alone in the countryside 5 years ago. That year, the company's capital chain broke down. Without telling Dylan, she took a coach alone to visit the parents of Raymond, a potential investor in the company. The elderly couple had eccentric tempers. She waited on them for 2 whole months, making tea, pouring water, doing the laundry and cooking meals, and was even splashed with chicken soup at one point. The day the old man suffered a heart attack, she carried him alone down from the 6th floor to the hospital, nearly tumbling down the stairs. Raymond had finally been moved and invested enough to save the company. When things turned around, Dylan asked,
Why did help us all of a sudden?
Probably because our company has good prospects. Dylan nodded and didn't ask again. When he later found out part of the truth, he hadn't been touched. He'd frowned.
How could you contact an investor behind the company's back? That's against the rules.
In that moment, Wynn had understood. In Dylan's world, principles always came before feelings. 6 in the morning, the guest room door opened. Dylan walked out, fully dressed, and froze when he saw Wynn on the sofa. Her hair was messy, eyes red and puffy, lips chapped like a plant beaten by wind and frost, wilting away. This wasn't who she was. Winnie had been the brightest star in school. She studied design, won international awards, and had 3 top job offers before graduation. But Dylan had said,
Winnie, let's start a business together. You handle the creativity, I'll run the operations. We'll make something big.
She'd turned down every offer to build something with him, from nothing. The first 2 years, they lived in a basement. No heat in winter, no air conditioning in summer. She designed for the company and took freelance jobs on the side to pay the bills. Her hands had cracked, burned, been cut dozens of times by utility knives. But she'd been happy, because Dylan would come home late at night, pull a hot sweet potato from his coat, and say, Saw this on the way, you love them. Later, the company grew. They had more money, a bigger house. The sweet potatoes turned into fancy takeout. Late nights at home turned into I won't be back tonight. She told herself this was the price of success, and she'd accepted it willingly. Until that day, she realized he wasn't too busy. He just didn't make time for her.
Win. I thought about it all night. If you want a divorce, I respect your decision. But I need you to think carefully. If we divorce, you'll have nothing. The house is mine, pre-marriage. The car is in my name. You own 0% of the company. For the past 5 years, I've paid for everything you've spent.
What did you say? Winnie's voice was barely a whisper.
It's the truth. You've been a housewife for 5 years with no independent income. Even if you sue, you won't get much alimony. Winnie, be realistic. Where would you go if we divorce?
Winnie stared at him, hard. She suddenly wanted to laugh. And now, he told her, you have nothing. Winnie stood, legs numb, but she held herself steady. Are you done?
I'm done.
Good. She pulled a business card from her desk drawer. From the CEO of the international luxury brand she'd turned down 5 years earlier. Dylan, you're going to regret this. Dylan didn't reply. He grabbed his keys and headed for the door. Pausing at the threshold, he said,
Oh, and Chloe starts today. I'll have your office cleared out for her. Pack your personal things by the weekend.
Winnie closed her eyes. She picked up her phone and dialed the number on the card. Hello, is that Edward? It's Wynn. You offered me a position 5 years ago. Is it still available? There was a 2-second silence, then a warm laugh.
Winner, of course it is. You finally came to your senses?
I have. When can I start?
Anytime. We have a global launch in Italy next month. You can join and sign your contract while you're there.
Okay. She hung up, went to the bedroom, and opened her closet. She pulled out a dusty suitcase and started packing. Clothes, documents, a passbook. Less than 30,000 yuan in savings, money she'd pinched little by little from Dylan's allowance over 5 years. She'd been saving it for their future child. Now, it wasn't needed. 2 hours later, she dragged the suitcase out of the neighborhood. People hurried by. No one noticed her. She stood at the crosswalk waiting for a cab. Her phone buzzed. A message from Dylan. Winnie stared at the words and suddenly laughed. The cab pulled up. She got in and blocked Dylan's number and WeChat. The city streets blurred past the window. She watched familiar buildings fade away, feeling no nostalgia, only a strange calm. Like a fish stranded on a beach for too long, finally caught by the rising tide, she was swimming back to the ocean. Wynn's palms were sweaty when she settled into the airport waiting area. This wasn't her first trip alone. When she was younger, she'd traveled to a dozen cities alone to meet clients, revising plans on trains at 3 in the morning. But back then, no matter how far she went, she knew someone was waiting for her to come home. Now, no one was waiting. The boarding announcement sounded. She picked up her suitcase and took one last look at the city she'd lived in for 28 years. The morning light was breaking, fog wrapping the skyline like a faded old photograph. She thought of the first time she met Dylan, at age 5. On the first day of preschool, all the kids were crying except her, sitting quietly in the corner drawing. Dylan was led in by the teacher, face serious, like a little adult. The teacher told him to sit next to her. He glanced at her drawing and said, "You draw well." That was their first words. For 23 years, their lives had been tangled vines. Preschool to high school, college to startup, friends to lovers, lovers to husband and wife. She thought the vines would wrap around each other forever, until their leaves withered and their lives ended. But vines rot. They get hollowed out from the inside. She suddenly remembered her mother's words.
"Winnie, Dylan's a good kid, but his heart is cold. You can't warm it."
"Mom, he just doesn't know how to show it." Now she knew her mother had been right. He wasn't incapable of showing affection. He just didn't want to show it to her. The plane took off, the roar swallowing all thoughts. Wen leaned against the window, watching the city shrink below the clouds until it vanished. In a dozen hours, she'd land on another continent, another city, another language, another climate. She'd have to rebuild her life from scratch, all alone. It would be hard, but she had to do it. Milan, Italy. A driver held a sign with her name when Winnie walked out of the airport. She got in, watching foreign streets pass by, ancient buildings and luxury storefronts blending like a moving painting. The hotel, arranged by the brand, was near Milan Cathedral. The room was small but elegant. She could see the Madonna statue on the Gothic spire from the window. Before she could unpack, her phone rang. It was Dylan's mother.
"Wynn, what's going on with you and Dylan? He called and said you're getting divorced? What happened?"
"Mom, you can ask Dylan about this."
"I did. He won't say anything, just that you want to leave. Wenner, don't be rash. You've been together all these years. You can't just throw it away."
"Mom, you've seen how I've treated Dylan all these years. But love takes 2 people. One person can't hold it up forever."
"Is there someone else?"
I knew it. That boy's never been close to people. I thought he was different with you. Winnie, if you've made up your mind, I won't stop you. But remember, you'll always be my daughter-in-law, divorce or not. Thank you, Mom. She hung up and stood at the window, watching Milan's sunset. Golden light coated the ancient buildings, the whole city wrapped in amber. She thought of the first time she met Dylan's mother, in college. Dylan had brought her home for dinner. "So this is Winnan. Dylan talks about you nonstop. I'm sick of hearing it."
Mom, I never mentioned her.
Shush. He's tough on the outside, but soft inside. Winnan had believed her. It took her more than 10 years to realize. Some people are never soft inside. On Wynn's first day at Creferia, she sat in the conference room for 8 hours straight, not in a meeting, studying documents. She had 1 month to learn the brand's history, product lines, market strategy, and all ongoing Asia-Pacific projects. Her new title, Senior Design Consultant, Asia-Pacific, reporting directly to Regional President Fei. Fei was a sharp woman, in her 40s, with short hair, speaking plainly. She'd asked only 3 questions in the interview.
"Do you still design? Can you still pull all-nighters? Can you still trust people?" "Yes, yes, yes." "Start tomorrow." In her first week, Wynn practically lived at the office. She poured all her energy into work. Not to run away, but because she needed to prove that without Dylan, she was still the award-winning designer, still capable of standing at the top of her industry. She arrived at 7 a.m., left at 11 p.m. She ran for half an hour after lunch to keep her energy up. Back at the hotel, she fell asleep immediately. She doesn't watch the news, didn't reply to friends, didn't answer her mother's calls begging her to reconsider. You're not. But I won't ask. Just a reminder, design needs inspiration, and inspiration needs life. Lock yourself in the office, and your work will be dead. Dylan had said something similar early on. He told her to go out more, see the world. Then the company got busier, she got more tired, and she never had time. Eventually, she stopped wanting to. She turned herself into a machine, one that revolved around Dylan. Now, the machine had finally stopped. The next day, Wynne took the day off. She visited Milan Cathedral, climbed to the top to overlook the city, went to La Scala for a ballet, stood in front of a Caravaggio painting at the Brella Gallery for half an hour. It was a day of beauty and contemplation.
In the evening, she sat at a sidewalk cafe and ordered an espresso. Sunlight filtered through plane trees onto the white tablecloth.
The elderly cafe owner asked in broken English where she was from.
Where are you from?
The UK.
The UK, nice. My daughter married a British guy. He's a really good cook.
Winnie smiled. It was the first real smile she'd had since arriving in Milan.
A month later, at the Asia-Pacific Quarterly Meeting, Wynne presented her first proposal. It was called Reborn. Inspired by a butterfly breaking out of its cocoon, she designed a line of accessories and bags. Colors faded from dark gray to bright gold, rough matte leather paired with smooth satin, symbolizing the journey from struggle to bloom. Faye stared at it for a long time. The whole room held its breath. Faye finally said, "Wynne, are you designing a brand collection or writing your own autobiography?"
Both. Do you think consumers will pay for a designer's personal story?
No, but they will be moved by honesty. The heart of this collection isn't my story. It's every woman who's hit rock bottom and stood back up, finding her light again. Faye studied her for a few seconds, then smiled. Great. Refine the proposal and send it to the board. After the meeting, Faye stopped her and handed her a coffee.
Winnan, do you know why I waited 5 years for you? Winnan shook her head. I saw your graduation project in college, the Cocoon series. It stunned the entire panel. I knew then this girl would go far. Faye paused. I was disappointed when I heard you gave up everything to get married. But I understood. I'm glad you're back. Your worth isn't defined by anyone else.
Wynne gripped the coffee cup and nodded hard. That night, alone in her hotel room, she unlocked her phone and scrolled to the bottom of her photo album. There were the few photos she and Dylan had together. The most recent one was from their wedding anniversary 2 years ago. Back then, she thought it was a testament to their love. Only now does she realize it was the grave of that love. She deleted the photo, not out of hatred for him, but to set herself free. In her first winter in Milan, Winnie ran into someone she knew. She'd worked late. It was raining when she left the office. She stood at the door waiting for a taxi when someone tapped her shoulder.
Winnie, it really is you.
Ethan?
I thought you'd forgotten me.
Winnie had almost. Ethan was her senior in college, 2 years above her. He'd moved to Europe to study after graduation and vanished. They hadn't been close, but he'd helped her greatly. Her graduation project, Cocoon, had gotten its first investor through him. What are you doing in Milan?
I have a design studio here, just down the street. You?
I work at Crawferia.
Faye's company? Impressive.
They found a late-night Chinese restaurant nearby. The rain poured harder outside. They were the only customers. A hot bowl of hot and sour soup arrived, warming Wynne to her bones.
You've lost so much weight.
Been busy.
Heard about your marriage. It was all over the class group back home. Then nothing.
I got divorced.
Congratulations on being single again.
Who congratulates someone for getting divorced?
I do. Leaving the wrong person is definitely worth celebrating.
Rain pattered outside. The restaurant lights were warm and dim. Wynne looked at Ethan and thought, maybe the city wasn't all strangers. After that, Ethan became one of Wynne's few friends in Milan. His studio focused on independent furniture design, small, refined, with clients across Europe. He was quiet, but always knew what to say. He never asked about her past or tried too hard. On weekends, they'd go to flea markets for vintage finds, or sit by the canal at a cafe for hours. Ethan brought his sketchbook and drew what he saw. Wynne sometimes brought her designs, working side by side, occasionally exchanging notes. Why did you come to Europe?
Because no one here knows me.
I could start over.
Me too. They smiled at each other, understanding without words. Milan winters were cold, but Wine got used to them. She learned to order coffee in Italian, wrap her coat tight against the wind, sleep alone in an empty apartment. She also learned not to think about Dylan. Not on purpose, but her busy life and new goals washed away the old traces like a tide. The Reborn collection passed the board unanimously. Winnan was officially appointed Asia-Pacific Design Director,
leading the line's development and launch.
It meant she'd travel frequently between Milan and major Asian cities. The day before she left, Ethan took her to dinner at a rooftop restaurant with a view of Milan Cathedral.
To a perfect launch.
Thank you.
Winnie?
If you ever get tired of flying, there will always be a place for you in Milan.
Okay. The Asian premiere of Reborn was in Shanghai. Winnie returned to China, stepping into the city she'd once known so well, yet barely recognized. In just 6 months, the city seemed both unchanged and completely different. The launch was the next night. She couldn't sleep. Outside the hotel's floor-to-clear windows, the Bond lights blazed like a star river. She remembered years ago when she and Dylan first came to Shanghai, crammed in a youth hostel bunk bed, staring at the neon lights and promising to buy an apartment there someday. Later, they did buy one, but never went together again. Her phone vibrated. A text from an unknown number. Winnie, I'm in Shanghai. Can we meet? No signature. But Winnie knew who it was. She didn't reply. The next day, the launch went perfectly. Reborn stunned the crowd. Media and industry insiders praised it nonstop. Wynn stood on stage, surrounded by flashes, smiling calmly and gracefully. Afterward, she was removing makeup backstage when her assistant came in. Director Shen, someone's here to see you. Who? He says his last name is Liu. I won't see him. He's been waiting at the door for 2 hours. Then let him wait. More about a small favor to someone else than my sacrifices for you. You were wrong because you never saw me as your equal. You think giving me money and a house is love. But tell me, do you know what I like to eat? What I'm most afraid of? What I want for my birthday? You don't know any of it. Dylan stood there, like all his strength had been drained.
Don't
say anything. Goodbye, Dylan. She walked to a waiting taxi and opened the door. She paused.
Winnan! I'll change!
Winnan didn't look back. I don't want you to change. I wanted you to be that way all along. The door closed. The taxi merged into traffic. Wynn watched his shrinking figure in the rearview mirror and finally closed her eyes. Tears still fell, not because she still cared, but because she was finally sure she didn't love him anymore. After the Shanghai launch, Reborn exploded across Asia. In 2 weeks, sales hit a new record for the brand in the region.
Wynn, you proved yourself.
I just proved I made the right choice. She hung up and saw a new WeChat message from Ethan. A photo of sunset in Milan, golden light on the canal, beautiful as a painting.
Milan is beautiful today. When are you coming back?
Next week.
I'll pick you up.
Winnie didn't say no. Ethan was there when she landed back in Milan. He wore a dark gray sweater, standing at arrivals holding a bouquet of white daisies. Winnie pushed her luggage cart out and saw him right away. How did you know I like daisies?
You stared at a pot of daisies at the flea market for a long time last time.
You remembered?
I remember everything you say. and including when you said your favorite place is the top of Milan Cathedral, because the wind is strong and blows all your troubles away.
Winnie suddenly felt her nose sting, not from being moved, but because this is what it feels like when someone remembers your little likes. This is what it feels like to be truly cared for. Days passed gently. Reborn stayed popular, and Winnie got busier. But no matter how packed her schedule was, she made time for Ethan on weekends. Sometimes they ate Chinese food, sometimes went to a concert, sometimes just walked along the canal without saying a word. Ethan was a perfect listener. He never interrupted her when she spoke, never pushed when she was quiet. He just stayed quietly with her, like a tree sheltering her from wind and rain without making a sound. Once, Wynne suddenly asked, "Aren't you anxious about your family pressuring you to get married?"
My family doesn't pressure me.
Lucky.
Not really. They don't ignore me, they just don't care. He said, my dad's a painter, my mom's a sculptor. They spent their whole lives on art. They think marriage is a waste of time. So I've always known I'm responsible for my own life.
Wynne envied that family. Her parents cared, but in their way, girls don't need to work too hard. Just find a good man to marry. She'd done exactly that. And what happened? Dylan was the perfect man to outsiders. Successful, non-smoking, non-drinking, no bad habits. But he didn't know how to love her. Wynne was quiet for a long time, then suddenly asked, "Ethan, do you know how to love someone?" Ethan looked at her, his gaze gentle.
I'm learning.
From who?
From you. Watching you go through so much, still willing to believe, still willing to start over. I think you're very brave.
Winnie looked away, flustered. I'm not as good as you say.
You are.
That night, she lay in bed unable to sleep. She began to seriously think, what did she feel for Ethan? 3 months later, Wynne received an email from Dylan's lawyer. A formal divorce asset splitting plan. Dylan had transferred all proceeds from selling the company, around €1 million, after tax, directly into Wynne's account. Wynne stared at the number, feeling neither moved nor angry. She just felt this marriage was finally, legally over. She signed it and sent it back. News somehow reached Faye. In the meeting room, she said in front of everyone,
Wynne, now you're a real rich lady. You still
everyone
gonna work
laughed,
for me?
and Wynne smiled too. I haven't earned enough yet.
I haven't earned enough yet.
After the meeting, Wynne went back to her office and closed the door. She stood at the window looking at Milan's streets, feeling an unprecedented sense of relief. Not because of the money, but because she'd finally cut ties with the past completely. She picked up her phone and called her mother. Mom, Dylan and I are officially divorced. The line was quiet for a long time. Her mother's voice choked up.
Winnie, are you sad?
I'm not, Mom. I'm really good right now.
That's all that matters. Take care of yourself out there. Eat well, don't work too hard.
I know.
Come back for a visit when you have a chance. Mom will cook all your favorite dishes for you.
Okay. She hung up and stood by the window, watching the rain fall outside, drop streak down the glass. She suddenly thought of her last meeting with Dylan, that night in Shanghai when he'd said, I'll change. She hadn't believed him, because some things can never be fixed, even if you try. Spring comes late to Milan, but when it arrives, it feels like magic. On the first day of April, Wynne pushed open her office window and found the plane trees downstairs had burst into bright green leaves overnight. Sunlight filtered through the branches, casting dappled shadows on the wall. An idea struck her, a limited spring edition for Reborn, using new leaves as the motif, sraftrue and pale gold as the main colors, symboling a fresh start to life. She drew all day, forgetting even to eat lunch. When Wynne came down, he was standing in the sunset, holding a coffee.
Guess how long I've been waiting here?
How long?
40 minutes. Faye said you hadn't left your office all day, so I brought you something.
Winnie took the coffee and saw a tiny doodle on the sleeve, a girl drawing at her desk, hair messy. You drew this?
Yeah, it's for you.
Winnie stared at the doodle and smiled. It was a genuine smile, one she hadn't had in a long time. Not because it was pretty, but because someone cared whether she ate. Someone was willing to wait 40 minutes just to bring her a coffee while she worked. Something soft shifted inside her as she looked at Ethan. Ethan. Thank you.
You're welcome. Winnie, I have something I want to say. But it's late. Go rest. Tomorrow, if you're free, come to my studio. I have something to show you.
Winnie looked at his serious face and nodded. Okay. The next day was Saturday. Winter slept in, then went to Ethan's studio. The studio was on the top floor of an old building, with a huge skylight that flooded the space with sunlight. The walls were covered with sketches and furniture models. An old piano stood in the corner. Ethan was sanding a piece of wood. When he saw Win, he set down his tools and washed his hands.
You're here.
I'm here. He led her up a small ladder to a rooftop terrace that overlooked all of Milan's rooftops. On the terrace was a chair, not an ordinary one, but a beautifully crafted rocking chair, smooth lines, warm wood, with daisies hand-carved into the arms.
I made this for you. It took me 3 months.
Winnie froze. She stepped closer and touched the daisies on the arms. Each one was lifelike. The curve of the petals, the lines of the veins, all carefully carved.
You once said you had a rocking chair at your grandma's when you were little, and you loved sitting in the sun. She's gone now, but I thought you could have a new one. Sit, enjoy the sun, look at the view.
Tears spilled down Wyndon's cheeks, not from sentiment, but because someone in this world had remembered a casual sentence she'd said for so long.
Ethan, why are you so good to me?
Ethan looked at her, his gaze as gentle as April wind.
Winnie, I like you. Not just as a friend. The kind that means I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I know you just ended a marriage. You might not be ready. You might not even know what you feel for me. That's okay. I can wait. But I want you to know there is someone here who will stay.
No matter if you're happy or sad, strong or broken, you don't have to give up anything for me. You don't have to change. Just be yourself. I'll be right here waiting until you're ready, until you know.
Ethan, I don't want to wait anymore. He froze. Starting today, let's be together.
Really?
He reached out and took her hand, lacing their fingers together. The wind on the terrace carried the scent of spring flowers and the distant church bells. Wynn sat back in the rocking chair made just for her, and it swayed gently. This, she thought, is what happiness feels like. Not grand gestures, not dramatic promises. Just someone who spends 3 months making you a chair. Someone who waits 40 minutes just to bring you coffee. Someone who tells you, just be yourself. Life with Ethan was quiet, like a glass of warm water. Simple, but something you never wanted to give up. They didn't rush to move in together, didn't rush to meet each other's families. Wynn kept working on Reborn. Ethan kept designing furniture. On weekends, they visited museums, ate at farms outside the city, or did nothing but sit on the terrace in the sun. Ethan was still quiet, but he'd bring dinner downstairs to her office when she worked late. When she traveled, he sent her a photo of Milan's sunset every day. When she missed home, he tried not very authentic, braised pork ribs for her. How do you know how to do everything?
I've lived alone in Europe for years. If you can't cook, you starve. If you can't fix a pipe, you get wet.
You don't have to be alone anymore.
No, I don't.
The limited and spring editions of Reborn launched in May and were a huge hit again. Wynn was named the brand's designer of the year, and Faya presented the award herself. Wynn's design tells us all, a woman's worth is not defined by a man. You can fall, you can hurt, you can lose everything, but if you have the courage to stand up, you will never lose. The room erupted in applause. Standing on stage, looking at all the unfamiliar faces, Wynn suddenly felt like crying. Not from sadness, but because she'd finally become the person she'd always wanted to be. No one to depend on, no one to please, just standing exactly where she belonged, on talent and hard work alone. After the award, she got a text from Ethan.
Congratulations, I left a gift at your door.
When Wynn got home, there was a long box outside her door. She opened it. A sketch of her standing on top of Milan Cathedral, wind in her hair. In the corner was a tiny line, "May the wind take your troubles away, may the sun light your way." Wynn held the drawing and stood at the door for a long time. Then she took out her phone and texted Ethan. "Ethan, I love you." 3 seconds later, his reply came.
I know. I love you too.
Milan in July was like a steamer. Wynn and Ethan decided to escape to Lake Como for the summer. They rented a small car and drove slowly along the mountain roads. The lake was bright blue, the mountains green, and the towns were covered in blooming wisteria. They stayed at an old lakeside hotel, their room looking straight out at the water. In the evening, they sat on the balcony, watching the sun set behind the mountains. The sky turned from orange to pale purple, then deep blue.
Wynn.
Hmm?
Have you ever thought about getting married?
I have, but I'm not in a hurry.
I'm not either, but I still want to ask, will you marry me? Not now, later, when you're ready, when you want to settle down.
Winnie looked into his eyes. There was no rush, no pressure, only quiet, certain gentleness. Ethan, will you regret it?
Regret what?
regretting marrying a divorced woman.
When your worth isn't how many times you've been married, it's who you are. I love you, your talent, your strength, the way you keep smiling even after everything.
Okay, I'll marry you.
Not now, but okay. Ethan's proposal had no grand ceremony, no diamond ring, no flowers or candles. Just one question.
Will you?
And one answer. Okay.
Okay.
But to Winnie, it was the most beautiful thing she'd ever heard. After returning to Milan, they didn't rush to plan a wedding. Winnie's work grew busier. Reborn was expanding globally, and she traveled constantly. Ethan's studio was preparing for the Milan Furniture Fair. Good night.
I miss you.
I miss you too. Once Win was on a business trip in Tokyo, she woke up in the middle of the night, stared at the strange ceiling, and suddenly missed Ethan terribly. She picked up her phone and saw a message from half an hour earlier. I designed a new chair. It's called Win. Wait till you see it. Win smiled, and her longing turned into warm anticipation. The next morning, she flew back to Milan. Ethan was there to pick her up, still holding a bouquet of daisies.
Tired?
A little.
Let me show you Win-Winnin'.
They went to his studio. The chair named Winnie was a simple wooden dining chair, elegant lines, comfortable to sit in. Carved on the back was a tiny line, made for Winnin'. Ethan, are you going to name every chair you make after me?
I might.
Then do I get royalties?
You already own me. Why worry about royalties?
Win blushed and glared at him. He laughed, leaned down, and kissed her forehead softly. Dot as gentle as April wind. In autumn, Winnie received an unexpected letter. There was no name on the envelope, only a postmark from a small city in China. She opened it. Inside was only one photo. Her and Dylan at 5 years old, in kindergarten. 2 little kids, holding hands, smiling carelessly. On the back was written, Winna, I'm sorry. No signature, but Win knew who it was. She stared at the photo for a long time. Then she put it in a drawer, with the old album Dylan had sent her years before, holding memories from age 5 to 25. She didn't hate Dylan anymore. She didn't miss him either. He was just someone who no longer had anything to do with her life. Reborn became a global hit. Winma's name began appearing regularly at the top of design magazines.
Win has proven with her work that a woman can restart her life at any age.
When Winnie went on stage to accept the award, she saw Ethan sitting in the audience. He'd arrived quietly, wearing a dark blue suit, smiling and raising his glass to her. Maybe it's time. After the party, she found Ethan. Let's get married. Ethan froze.
What did you say?
I said let's get married. Not later. Now. Ethan stared at her for a few seconds, then smiled, disbelieving joy on his face.
Winnie, are you serious?
I'm serious.
What about the wedding? Where? When?
Keep it simple, Winnie said. Here in Milan, at Sanzanga Church. Not many people. Just us and a few friends.
Ethan suddenly pulled a small box from his pocket. He opened it, revealing a simple platinum ring.
I've had this ready for a long time. I've been waiting for you to say it.
Winner looked at the ring and laughed through tears. Ethan, did you just assume I'd say yes?
No, he said seriously. I hoped, but I never pushed.
He picked up the ring and knelt on one knee.
Win, marry me.
Colleagues still lingered, saw this, and cheered and clapped. Win wiped her tears and held out her left hand.
Yes.
Winnie wore a simple white dress, her hair loose, no jewelry at all. She wasn't trying to be minimalist. Ethan had just said, "You look beautiful in anything." Winnie thought he was flattering her, but she accepted it. There weren't many people. Just Faye and close colleagues, Ethan's studio partner, and Winnie's parents, who'd flown from China.
Winnin, be happy this time.
I will.
Ethan is a good man. I can tell. He really loves you.
I know, Dad. There was no MC, no complicated procedure. They just stood before the priest and exchanged vows.
I'm not good with fancy words, but I promise, from day on, I'll take care of your meals. When you're tired, I'll carry you. When you cry, I'll comfort you. When you're happy, I'll celebrate. When you're sad, I'll stay. Forever.
Ethan, I don't need you to carry me or comfort me. I just need you to be by my side and be yourself. The priest declared them husband and wife. Church bells rang, doves flew across the blue sky. Sunlight fell on both of them. Winnin closed her eyes and felt the warmth of the kiss. This time, she thought, I chose right. Married life was no different from dating. They still worked separately. On weekends, they ate, walked, and watched movies together. The only difference, every night they sat on the balcony, drank warm tea, and talked about their day. Wynne noticed Ethan had a habit she'd never known about. He liked to brush the hair off her forehead gently and stroke her head after she'd fallen asleep. Once she wasn't asleep. She felt the kiss with her eyes closed, and her heart melted. She opened her eyes and saw Ethan's shy expression.
You're awake?
You do this every night?
Since you've been swapped all day, I didn't want to bother you. I waited till you fell asleep at night, so I could come quietly, without disturbing you at all.
Winnie suddenly thought, this man was so quietly, sweetly clumsy. She reached up and wrapped her arms around his neck. Ethan, you don't have to sneak around anymore. Anytime you want me, I'm yours. He smiled and kissed her. Night wind slipped through the window, carrying distant church bells. In that moment, Winnie felt all the pain in her life had been worth it, just to make this sweetness sweeter.